Hello everyone, this is Hamid Sharif again, and this is the final assignment normally on the CELTA course, which is lessons from the classroom. And it's more or less an assignment about you as a trainee and your journey on the course. So if we look at the guidelines and what you need to cover, basically this assignment will target some major areas. So for example, in the first part, you might need to mention your strength, your teaching strength, and how they improved throughout the course. So for example, one of the strengths might be lively and dynamic manner or good rapport with the students, and you will need to mention some classroom examples, like taken from the feedback sheets, comments from your tutor. So in TP3, what the tutor mentioned, in TP2 and TP6. And using this format, you will need to add three strengths. And for each strength, you will need to add three classroom examples. Okay, not just one. This is just an example. In the second section, you might need to mention some developmental needs or some action points, areas to improve. So for example, one of the problems might be unclear task setting or unclear instructions. And you will need to mention the number of the TP in which this happened. Maybe it happened in more than one TP, and this could be the case. Now, in relation to the problems, each problem you need to come up with three action points. So that will help you solve that problem. So make sure the action points are related to the problem and they are practical to help you solve this problem. And again, you will need to mention three problems, three areas, and for each area, you will need to mention three action points, similar to this example. Now, in the third part, you will need to mention some of the strength of your colleagues, okay, and your peers, for example, throughout the course, like you will need to mention what you learned from your peers, and you will also need to mention what you learned from observations of other experienced teachers, like the lesson you watched at the very beginning of the CELTA that the tutors provided. Also, you will need to mention some of the strength you learned from observing DVDs, what you saw on DVDs. This also will be helpful. And finally, you will need to mention further development after the course, how you would improve after the course, and make sure it's something related, like time bound. For example, if you will need to mention at least maybe 5 or 6 points here, and make sure you include a time frame for your plans. Like for example, read 2 chapters from how to teach pronunciation in the first 2 months and apply 2 ideas to my classroom. So you will need to mention the plan plus the time frame. Okay, now these are some ideas to avoid resubmission, so please read them carefully. Okay. And of course, the first page is the cover page. Okay, everyone, I hope this was helpful in relation to assignment 4. And if you have any questions, again, please go back to your tutor. And again, the framework might be different from a center to another, but normally the components will stay the same. You will need to highlight your strength throughout the course. You will need to highlight your action points. You will need to highlight what you learned from your peers and from experienced teachers. And finally, your development after the course and a time frame for each plan. So just make sure you follow the same structures given, read your assignments carefully, and read the instructions carefully before you start working on your assignment.